Pulse exclusive Hellfire Club box set. The packaging on this set is very nicely done. It's a flat black with a gloss embossed finish on the gates of the Hellfire Club. This was going to be originally the SDCC exclusive box set, but due to the situation was going on with all the cons canceled, it ended up being a Pulse exclusive. I got this set a couple weeks ago. Here we have the inner circle outside the packaging, and we have Donald Pierce, Sebastian Shaw, Emma Frost, and Jean Grey. Together they make a great looking set, and I really like the fact they included the artwork for the Hellfire Club that you can sit in if you have room for on your display. First out of the box, I had a slight issue with Emma Frost. She had a defect in her leg. Had like a little bubble, air bubble inside the leg. Ended up having to, I tried to fix it. The more I touched it, the worse it got. It just started peeling like an onion. I don't know what was going on with the plastic. It's almost like this multi-layers of plastic just kept peeling and peeling. More worked on it, the worse it get. I knew it was never going to fix it, so I ended up having to replace the parts. So it's one of the reasons why Emma Frost is going to look different from everyone else's. So I had to do some replace her thigh. I had the retro carded Wasp figure, which shares the same lower legs, but she has the flat feet, so I took the advantage when I was going to do repairs. I decided to do pearl white finish and give her flats, because I'm not a real fan of the heels. The set does come with an array of accessories. You have Hellfire book, extra set of fist hands, some robotic hands for Donald. You got 2 gripping hands for the Black Queen. You have 2 fist hands for Black Queen. She also has the open style pose hands, whip. There's a small pistol. Wolverine's cowl, Magneto's helmet, and Sling's head. And for Emma, she has a set of open bows hands and a set of fists. Each of these figures has some reuse parts and some new sculpted parts for each of the figures, and there are shared parts between both Donald and Sebastian, and Emma and Jean. But they do have a lot of new parts as well as reuse. On the male figures, they are actually reusing the torso from the Nick Fury from the Captain Marvel movie wave. If you pop the head off, and the ascot, and you'll notice there's a hole where the tie would be for this figure. You can tell the sculpt is the same for these torsos, and that's just an overlay of the jacket, which doesn't hinder the articulation too much. You can still feel the ab crunch. You can look up in there, you can see the same belt sculpt. It's just not painted. Of course, it's the vest overlay covers it up. The legs are, the hips are reuse, but the thighs, the knees, the lower legs, the shoes are all new sculpt. I do believe the jacket and arms are new, because they're much bigger than the MCU style arms, or comic book proportions. If the arms are reuse, I'm not sure what figure they would be from, because they're definitely jacket arms, because they have the 4 buttons on the sleeves, unless they're planning on using this for other characters. The cuffs are just an overlay, separate piece that they can slide over top the arm. And for Pierce, they actually gave him a set of cybernetic hands to replace one, where later on he becomes a cyborg and the leader of the Reavers. The hands looks like they reused from the recent Doctor Doom from the Fantastic Four wave. And it was nice they actually use the hinges or vertical hinges, that way proper for gun wielding hand. And he gets a clawed like style pose hand, which look pretty good, and they fit really nice on the figure. For Sebastian Shaw, it's basically exactly the same as Donald Pierce, just a different head sculpt, different color scheme. And for the female figures, they actually have a lot of new parts for the, originally would have thought they would just be using Typhoid Mary body, or the upper torso at least. But they actually sculpted a whole new torso pieces, waist, upper legs, upper arms. The upper torso is actually 2 pieces. Instead of actually a standard diaphragm joint like normal, the ball joint is actually at the lower down, between just above the waist area, or the midsection, which allows for pretty good movement. The corset piece actually is a separate piece from the upper torso. The hips are a new design. The legs are reused from previous Legends, like with the retro carded Wasp figure, or do think the Scarlet Witch from the Odin wave use the same lower legs. The upper arms are actually new. You actually have the seam for the long gloves, so they've just been painted on. She gets a new collar piece, new cape, of course, new head. With Emma, it's basically the same figure, with just different style cape, and in white instead of black, of course. On Emma, they reused the head from the Walgreens exclusive Emma Frost. It's with a different skin tone, different paint job. The skin tone on this Emma is much more lighter, a little pinkish hue compared to this one. This one has a little more tan skin tone. Now let's take a quick look at the articulation on these figures. We'll look for the male characters. I'll look at Sebastian Shaw. Look at the upper torso is a reuse from the Nick Fury, and the head is on a hinged ball joint, which can get a little hindered with the ascot piece, and his ponytail, but he can look up, look down, a little bit of tilt, 360. Disc hinge shoulders go out this far, full 360. There's a bicep swivel, double hinged elbows, which allow to get all the way up, scratch his chin, hinge and swivel wrist. He does have an ab crunch. It is hindered some with the jacket overlay. He still has his waist twist, ball jointing hips, they go out that far, back that much if it hits the jacket. He has double joint knees, goes up that far. He has thigh swivel, which if you go so far, it kind of looks a little weird with the sculpt, but it is there. He has hinged ankles and ankle pivots. Now for the female figures, we'll look at Jean Grey. She has a list hindrance with the cape, so we'll look at Jean. The neck is on a disc hinge. She does have a bit of a lollipop syndrome, which does allow for a lot of tilt from side to side, break her neck. The shoulders are on disc hinge, go out. We'll do a 360, but they hit the cape right now. Single joint elbows, get you around 9 degrees. Hinge and swivel wrist, full 360. There's a ball peg at about midway down the torso, which allows where you get your waist twist, a little bit of crunch back and forward. The hips are ball jointed, which allow for this far out, forward, this far back. You have a thigh swivel, double joint knees, hinged ankles. Does have what would be a pivot on the feet, but since they're high heels, the angle of the peg is too far vertical, so it ends up just being a swivel. That's why after the review, I'm planning on switching out to flats on her. When swapping the feet out to the flats, it's going to make her a little shorter, so she kind of makes her fit in a little better. But right now, she's actually taller than the male characters, the Sebastian Shaw and Donald Pierce. If you put the flats on her, it'll make her the same height to have my Emma right now. Do a little bit of figure comparison. We have the Emma Frost next to the Walgreens Emma Frost. We have the Typhoid Mary next to the new female body. You can see the proportions on the new figure is a lot better on this figure. This Black always has the noodle legs. They don't really have any shape to them. They're much more better proportioned as a human being on the new figure. We're looking at the Jean Grey. I have the old Toys R Us exclusive figure, which is awful figure. I don't have the Emma on this body anymore. I got rid of it a long time ago. But I just kept this one because it's a gift from a friend. But this new one is so much vastly superior figure. It's not even worth even really hardly showing them together. Jean Grey in her Phoenix costume. I have the Toys R Us 2-pack head on the Juggernaut Wave Jean Grey. And if you have do have the Walgreens exclusive Emma, you can actually put the Celine head on that body. The skin tones are close, it's a little lighter, a little more yellow on the newer figure, but where they have the collar separation piece on this figure, you can actually get by with it a little better. Sebastian shawl. It's with the, of course, with the Nick Fury figure. They're close to the same height. The shawl a little bit taller. They do with the new legs and the larger noggin. And here he is with next to a Bucky cap. Here he is next to a Wolverine. All in all, this is a great looking set. Hopefully everybody was able to get their orders in for this set. It's a great looking addition to anybody's collection. And hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll see y'all next time.